All right. Hi, friends. I'm Rachel Gilmore, Director of New and Vital Faith for the Desert Southwest Annual Conference. And so far, it's a ladies only party today. I guess we're all here. We have Jackie Ranieri, who is our presenter or informer of the day, with Chandler UMC reps, with yay! Reverend Pastor Candace Lansbury and Jenny joining us too. And the topic on the table today is digital campuses. Like, how are they different from live streaming? Like, what? Tell us what you're up to, Jackie, because what you're doing with Oasis is very different from what most of us have experienced. So, take it away. And Jackie is the pastor at Green Valley UMC in Henderson, Nevada, and also the pastor of the Oasis Digital Campus out of Green Valley. So, tell us all the things, Jackie. Help us.
Telling you everything. Well, thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today, being here. So, a little bit about the Oasis. It's a digital campus. And let me just kind of say, when I say, oh, I have a digital campus, people say, oh, we do too. We do it every Sunday called live streaming. It's called live streaming. So the difference is live streaming is what we do on Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings, we hit record and we have it out there on all of social media platforms for people to see our services. But the digital campus is different. So what I have is called a campus called the Oasis Virtual Communities. And actually, I was in the Michigan conference when I started this, so never thinking that I would bring the Oasis to the desert where it belongs. But that's where we're at, and it's exciting to be here. So I was having encounters with folks that were either shunned from church, never grew up in the church, had questions about the church, and did not feel comfortable coming into the brick and mortar type of atmosphere. And they didn't know how else to communicate, to be in fellowship with other fellow believers. So after talking with them and listening and just different conversations, and I'm talking like I was having encounters at the grocery store, at the restaurants, at coffee shops, and even at the hair salon, had many conversations there with people that were just had so many questions. And the funny thing is, they didn't know I was a pastor. They just started talking to me, asking questions. So that was kind of, I knew that was a God thing, and I knew God was stirring something. And so I asked some of those folks, along with some friends I knew that were struggling with the whole church idea. And at first, like, I got in the way and I thought, oh, they just want a church service online. We'll call it a digital campus. But that isn't what these folks were looking for. It wasn't the type of fellowship, the type of interaction they really wanted. They wanted to interact, but not have to sometimes leave their house, or sometimes it was uncomfortable. It was intimidating to meet other people, and especially those who don't have any church background. They didn't know what to say. So the team and I built the team of some of the people that I talked with, along with some friends, as I stated, and we started having conversations, and it took a lot of one-on-ones. And actually, Rachel was coaching me, and the challenge was 75 to 100 people get out there and talk to. And it's just really, it sounds scary to do that, but when you turn it over to God, it was really easy. I was going to softball games, watching my cousins play, and parents were talking to me, families were just talking, and I was getting a little more insight as to what God was leading me to, and taking it back to the team, and the team was coming up with ideas. So what we have created is a campus, a community, I should say, that has interaction opportunities every day. Some of them are memes, as far as, a motivational, have a great day. And it kind of gives that people, ask the question and people can respond. There's devotionals with a question for people to respond. I do a live prayer time, and it's about I was doing it I was doing an hour, and I have to say that is like a long time to pray. And it sounds like, like, oh, no big deal, I can do it. But when it's only you and one other person, and you're trying to come up with everything under the sun to pray about, which, there's a lot of things to pray about, but when you're just by yourself, sometimes it's hard to do that prayer. So I've shortened it to a 30-minute power half hour is what we call it, on Mondays. And I just go out Facebook Live, and folks join me, and when they lift up prayer requests, they go throughout the week, they'll put in the comments more prayer requests. Hey, while you're thinking about that. And the neat thing I've been seeing happening is folks asking, like, how did that test go? I know we've been praying for you. How did that test go? How's college life now that you're new there? So people are interacting in those ways. It's simple interaction because no one's having to make a commitment, no one's having to share their faith background, but it's a safe place to come and to connect and just to interact with others. We offer book studies, Bible studies, and that has been really interesting. That's been humbling, and it's just been that time when coming together and just seeing people from different backgrounds, different denominations that have joined us, and they've just the simple things. I had a 20-year-old that came and joined us, and she brought her Precious Moments child's Bible, that grandparents gave her when she was little, and she carried it with her, to her 20 years, and thought that was her actual Bible to use and take to church and to do that. And of course I didn't say, like, oh my gosh, what are you thinking? I encouraged her, like, keep reading it, keep it. It's sacred, it's special. Your grandparents loved you enough to give you something like that. But then I'm like, hey everyone, why don't we open our Bible apps and I'll show you like where to go and what to do. So we started using our phones, and I have this group of 6 20-year-olds that were engaging in a Bible study and asking the questions. And the one that was brought this Precious Moments, she really dug in. She got excited and got really hungry and started, texting me through the week. And it's like, hey, I found this. Can I share this with the group? And, I bought this devotional book and I love this devotion because it went with our stuff. And she started sharing with the group. And so they end up going more toward the phone interaction as their digital campus, and then meeting via Zoom through Facebook through their Bible study. So it's just been like digital campus has just been coming out in different ways. And also, my favorite story to share is my seniors who don't really go on the computer. A couple in the group love are part of the Facebook group and they're part of the community, but the seniors needed something to do, some interaction. So one of the team members is an artist, so she took a bunch of rocks of these ladies and they painted inspirational sayings on these rocks. So this team member, Terry, and then myself, we were both heading to Florida, but in different directions. I was going to the Panhandle and she was going down to Clearwater Beach. And we took the rocks that these ladies painted and we put a QR code to the campus. So we took pictures, Terry and I, as we placed the rocks in different rest areas and different places that we stopped. And then we shared it with the campus. So that the men and women that were painting the rocks, they were all excited to see where we placed their rocks and what state it was in. And then we asked those who found the rocks to post a picture to share with the campus. And people actually did. So they were really excited, like, oh my gosh, they're going to be blessed with my rock. And so then people keep sharing the rocks. Every once in a while, these rock pictures keep popping up saying, I found this rock here. Thanks for, for wishing me a good day. Thanks for, praying for me. Thanks for, whatever, XYZ and that. And it's involving this community that they don't realize they're doing discipleship, painting these rocks that they had fun with during the day. They're still part of this, part of the process, part of this community. So we have a couple of people that are on active in the group that are sharing the Facebook posts with the rest of the group and that. So we do once a month. Oh, go ahead.
Is this like a totally separate Facebook page for this community? Is it a Facebook group?
I'm sorry. Yes, it is. So I have so many of my people, they didn't want to go Facebook public. So we have a private Facebook page, but we also have a public Facebook page for people who are just coming, wanting to check out, see what we do. We don't put everything on the public page, but we put our memes, we put devotions, we'll put video clips, we put little things, just teasers to get people to, if they would like to join the campus.
So they're two separate pages. One is not a private Facebook group of the public page. It's a separate page.
Right. So it's a separate public page, a separate public page. Did that make sense?
Okay.
But we're also on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and we're looking for other social media platforms to come out to. But it all focuses there's all invites on all these other platforms to come back to the Facebook page where they can go in and then find right there when you go to the public page, it says if you want to join the campus, it's right there on the top that you can click on it, and then if you want to join the campus. But it's the safety questions that we ask that so many where I know people are like, Facebook is so old, only old people use it and that. but it's like kids use it to reach out to family members, moms and dads, grandma, grandpas, aunts and uncles, and everybody else. So I'm finding they are using it. They are joining the campus through that, but I know they use other social media platforms. So we're trying to reach out to these other platforms to reach other people. And you get people of all ages watching TikTok. You get people of all ages, even on Instagram. So we're just, I got asked by a young man the other day if we were on WhatsApp. So we're looking into maybe starting something on WhatsApp. He's like, I got some friends that would really enjoy this. Could you come to WhatsApp? And so I'm learning. So here's like my big thing, my disclaimer, I guess. I don't know social media. I know what I want on social media. I know what needs to happen on social media, but I need a marketing person, a social media person that knows how to get us out to social media. If that makes sense? Because it's
We're all
like, it's just how it is. So yeah, so that's what, so it's just starting just interactions, ways to interact. There's Nathan Webb, and he does a digital campus, and his is, I don't, you're shaking your head, he does the video games and interacts and then brings it all to like a faith-oriented type of program that he, he'll talk about faith with the people that he has on there. So there's different types. And one question I received was from a pastor was, how do I take my live stream to a digital campus? And thinking about that, it's like, who's on your live stream on Sunday mornings? Is it just your church members? Or do we have people from other places that are watching? Is there people from out of state? Is there people that are just new watching? And what I recommended to them was that they do start out with a Bible study, or start out with just somehow getting them into like a community of their own type thing. You can invite church members to come in, but just if you have those that are not part of the church, because the whole idea is to get those that are not connected to the church into some kind of a community, whether it's through a study, whether it's through just a devotional interaction or some kind of interaction. We play, we call it Oasis Wordle. We do like a Bible Wordle each week. We do trivia questions. We do I do a secular question. I would rather. So like, I would rather give up pizza or give up ice cream. And it's just, it's something simple, but the interaction, I see like people that don't normally comment like on the other things, they comment to that and they look forward to that. I found out that one of the members on the community or an instructor for a university, and apparently she uses my I would rather questions for her icebreakers for her college students. So she looks forward to see what I'm putting out on Saturdays. So she uses it in the college. And honestly, I was really looking at like, do I really need to do this? I mean, yeah, I get response, but is it something really, is it? And I was him-hawing about it. But then when I heard that, I was like, yep, God uses it in different ways. And it's reaching college kids that don't realize where it's coming from. And so it's just, it's a neat thing. And the advice I have is let God be God, because there were so many things that I thought needed to happen. There were so many things that I thought qualified it as a digital campus. And what I thought would go, it really isn't what was happening, really wasn't what people were picking up. But after so much prayer and after just, it's that listening time and just that prayer time, you see so many things happening. I mean, God has taken over these campuses, and it's just like you see it through the people that are participating. I've got a friend who's part of the team who like did not grow up in the church. She has so many questions, and she's posting prayers and posting prayer requests, and she's like posting throughout the month as far as interaction. She's part of the prayer time that we have. She's joined studies, and it's just been neat just to see the different people becoming more stronger in their faith. Actually, people who are beginning to have a faith, especially with the questions that they're asking and the things that they're saying. And it's just really a unique opportunity. I'm sorry, I've got also like my allergies are acting up in that. So do you have any questions before I go on, or just? Kelly, did you have, maybe Kelly had a question.
Yeah, I had a quick question. you know, a digital campus, you talked about these studies and prayer groups and things like that. Do you actually do like a worship service?
So that was the part in the beginning, I did not do a worship service because
Okay.
the reason being was a lot of these people didn't trust the church. So I needed them to get to know me. So I was doing videos of like a thought for the day. I was doing at first I was doing recorded devotions just to get people to know who I am and to kind of build that relationship with them. So now that I'm here in this conference, I'm the pastor of the Green Valley United Methodist Church. So we live stream our services. So now that I've been with these folks for a year on the Oasis, I invite them to come to the worship. So I've gotten a couple people from the campus to start watching the Green Valley live stream.
But you don't put the live stream on your Facebook page or Instagram or anything like that?
They get the link to the live, right? They get the link. They
Okay.
get the link in the invitation to do
Okay.
that. Yes.
Okay.
As well as, so where I'm at now is I've got the Green Valley United Methodist Church and I've got the Oasis Virtual Community. So I'm trying to bring the two communities together, but yet let them keep their own identity. Because I have several people on the Oasis that don't want to be connected to a so-called church. They want the community, they want this time together, but they don't want to be taken over by a church. So it's just that it's finding that balance, it's trying to find that trust. And I don't want it to be like a, what is it, bait and switch kind of thing. Like, okay, now that I'm over here now you'll have to join this. So it's really a delicate balance. So that's why they're getting an invite and not necessarily here's the church service.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for asking. So
What does like membership look like from the Oasis campus, or how do you do sacraments or baptism kind of stuff?
and so that's what we're building up on is that part of the sacraments of I'm trying to figure out, because that was the other part of it, is doing fresh expressions as part of this campus, because that was another thing that has really was becoming like the thing. Like they wanted the folks that I'm saying the listening sessions that I've had didn't necessarily want church things. They like the idea of the book study. So there's a book study where we do a Christian book, but it's not necessarily a Bible study. It's kind of talking more about building them up in their faith, building them up into like, you know, what does it mean to be a Christian? What does it mean when I say these things? So doing these book studies and then doing the Bible study, digging into actual books in the Bible. And so we've got a balance of, we have some that want to do that and some that just want to do a book study. So we are in that process, but doing fresh expressions, I'm really trying to figure out a way to do like a dinner church per se, to have that opportunity with people on Zoom to do this, gathering at the table, eating a meal together, and then sharing a devotion, sharing communion with everyone, doing it via Zoom. So that's on the back burner, trying to figure out how does that happen. So as far as building up membership, I haven't gotten to that point where, like, you know, I've got like over 1,000 people following this campus on all the different social platforms. But as far as members of the campus, I don't have that per se. We are in the process of trying to figure out, what does that look like? How does that happen? How do you say you're a member? How do you, because when you look at your private page, they're all members. But then when you look at your public page, they either like you or they're following you. So it's just one of those things there. And then with the Instagram, you have followers, and TikTok has followers. So it's just trying to figure out that piece of it. And that's where I'm at now. I'm in that piece of like, how do we bring them into membership? And that's where, yes. So it's all in the beginning phase of like, what does it look like? Where do we go with that? And I'm sorry, I don't have an answer to that, but that's part of the work of where we're moving forward, and part of those pieces that are in those benchmarks of where do we come now? How do we do this now? So.
What do you think are the pros and cons of a digital campus? Like, what makes it easier than a brick and mortar building, and what makes it harder?
It's definitely easier for people to comment and not worry about having to face someone face to face, especially if they're like having something negative to say, not about the campus, but it's just about negative things in life and maybe just struggles that they're going through. And they're not having to face that embarrassment of having to have people looking at them per se, like, oh, they're going through a divorce right now. Oh, they're struggling with addiction right now. Oh, look at that person. It's a safe place for them to come and actually share what's really on their heart. And especially during prayer time, you get a lot of like, I'm really struggling. I just called my mentor and I'm just called my sponsor and I'm just really, can you guys just lift me up in prayer right now? But they're not having to face people actually face to face. So it's a safe place. That's really the pro on that. The con is it's not face to face. And it's kind of like you miss that in-person interaction. And I did have a group in Michigan that they wanted to start like a knitting group, a crochet group. And I thought it was funny because they were all 30-year-olds. And I was like, wow, that must be full circle. Because usually the churches have the knitting groups and it's all your grandmas that are knitting blankets and baby blankets and that. But these young girls, like they came together, they're all into crocheting and knitting and making beautiful products. And projects they had, and they decided to do for a mission project to do soap sacks for shelters, for food pantries. And it's these little knitted little pocket things that you can fit a bar of soap in. So they're actually a washcloth and a bar of soap that they made little ones for kids so they could grasp onto it. They had, full bars of soap. So they did these soap sacks, but they wanted to be in person. So they interacted. We interacted on Facebook. They messaged back and forth. They did the phones. They text back and forth. And they're still they're still active today. So they were looking for like a spring project, what they did the soap sacks for. They're looking in the fall project. So they're wondering now whether they should do soap sacks again or what other projects they should be going into. So that was also pro. Like they found opportunities to come together. And there was people that traveled kind of like an hour to 2 hours to come to be part of this in-person group. And just to have other people that, like to crochet and knit. And they didn't realize like, wow, there's other people my age that want to do this. So gathering together. The other, the con is there's people from all over the United States that are part of this. So like during prayer time, I'm 3 hours behind like the Michigan people or the Florida people. So there's Florida, Michigan, Kentucky. I've got Massachusetts. I've got some people from Arizona. I've got people from all over trying to meet. So the con is really the time zone, trying to plan a Bible study with people that are in the different time zones. It's hard. I mean, that's me getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do a 9 a.m. Bible study for those on the East Coast or the Eastern time zone. And it's just, those are some of the cons. And even trying to figure out like this dinner church idea, what does that look like? How could we do that digitally with the different time zones? That'll be me eating at like, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's my dinner kind of thing. And it's just, it's just trying to find that balance. And it's all, it's all a balance. So I'm new to this conference. So I'm new to this time zone. So it's just trying to get acclimated to like, what works best here? What works best there? Opposed to having the church. And it's like, man, we should be doing, messy church. We should be, grabbing on and doing these different things. And so it's like, it's all balance. It's just I'm learning that balancing act. How do you, balance in person and how do you balance the digital and how do you keep them separate? So it's just, those are just the things, that it's just coming across. So.
So let me ask, you're just kind of making this up as you're going along? Is that the feeling I get? Just however it works?
Some ways yes, some ways no. It's just, it's kind of, so in the beginning when I started this, I wanted to be, when we realized it wasn't just a church service and then a Bible study, it needed to be interaction during the day, during the week. So we've got interaction 6 days out of the week on this campus. So we offer like Mondays, it started out with a devotion. Later on this afternoon, I'm going to do a live prayer half hour with them. Tuesdays, we do Oasis Bible Wordle. And then we do Wednesdays, we do prayer requests. And we also do like a motivational meme for that. Thursdays, we have a video, either it's me that's doing a thought for the day, or we have a meme that does a thought for the day. Fridays, we don't do anything. Saturdays, I do a I would rather question. And then Sundays, I offer a prayer. And then it's usually a written out prayer or a prayer meme, or it's actually me saying the prayer for them live. So as far as making things up, it's, if we get a request, like if I get someone to say, like, for instance, I had someone say like, I wanted to do, a trivia game, and this is my idea about it. And it was like, some of it was spiritual, some of it was secular, some of it was, so we had Thursdays, we were doing like a trivia game, fill in the blanks of the song or just whatever. So that person, it's that person who was lady, part of the team, took over that that time and she managed it. She's doing pumpkins right now. She works at a pumpkin farm. So she's busy with that season. So she stepped back, and so we just filled in with a meme for now until she gets ready to come back. So sometimes it's the idea of the campus is what I really should say is lay led. It's not me doing everything. So I have an admin that puts out a lot of like the prayer requests and puts out the Bible wordle, and she watches the campus for me because I can't do it 24 hours a day. So she watches it. And then I've got some of the volunteers that will watch it and respond. And then they'll be like, they'll text me like, hey, Jackie, someone's really looking for help. Can we send them to you? And it's like, absolutely. So it's, if someone who has something that's on their heart, like, can I share this devotion? Absolutely. Share the devotion with everyone. That's the idea of it, is for people to interact, people to share. Is it, we haven't had any issues with anything inappropriate being, oh, we did have one. We had one lady that joined the campus and she kept putting up these cat videos. So we kind of like, we had to have her ask permission to post a video before she put it up, because they were like, just a cat sitting there meowing for 5 minutes was kind of annoying. So it was just so, is there a purpose to this? So we've eliminated that, but there hasn't been any like bullying. There hasn't been any anything really inappropriate besides that piece of it. But it's just been watching people, like I say, as they're growing in their faith, they're asking to post. Can I, this has been laying on my heart. Can I put this prayer request out? There was an accident in my area that, they put out, there's been Michigan, there's been several police officers getting killed on the highway for pulling over someone to help either with their car or even to like give them a ticket. There's been like 3 deaths in the last like 2 weeks of police officers. So there's people that are very close that have police officers in their family or spouse or whatnot. So they're asking for prayers, and they're putting, people, please be, cautious watching on your roadways. That's good for all of us. That's a good reminder for all of us. And it's just, there's a lot of those kinds of requests. There's, we've even had like recipes, like especially during the holidays, sharing special recipes, and, people trying it, saying what they added to it. So again, it's a little secular, but it's also getting those who are just a little timid to be posting. They'll respond to those things, but it's getting them into that closer relationship with the other people. And I've had I have this one gentleman who is homeless, and he's part of the prayer time. And it's funny because I guess that's one of the pros. People don't see who the other people are when they post and don't know their background. And it's like, I research people before we accept them and kind of know a little bit more about them. And I've talked with them and that, so I know who they are, and I know the people that are, against the LGBTQ community, but yet they're loving on this person that's asking for prayer. And it's just, a couple of them have met up for coffee, without me. They took it on their own, like, what area are you in? And they're like, well, I'm from Michigan, or I'm from here. And they've been meeting up and they've had lunch together. They built up like a relationship, and they like been taking care of each other. And that's kind of like what this is what it's all about. This is that part of that, of building a community within themselves, building a faith community. They're praying for each other. And I usually have the one person from the group where they go to lunch. Hey, we're going to lunch, and we're taking Brad, or we're taking this person, and we're going to go and, have lunch and pray for them, because it sounds like they're really struggling. I saw their things. I saw their requests that they had. I'm close by. I'll reach out to them and see what's going on. So this is what this community is starting to build into, is relationships, building relationships, faith relationships. And it's just, as I said, as they're getting to know me more, I'm seeing more people joining us on Sunday morning at Green Valley through the live stream. So it's a step by thing. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to build relationships, especially with people that don't know me, that are coming from out of state. They're like, they might have a friend that knows me, so it's a friend of a friend kind of thing. And they're just really trying to decide whether or not they trust me. Am I really who I say I am?
Well, and just to throw it out there, like what I've seen you do is you have a really structured system now that seems to be working, and you've prototyped that over the years. What works? Where are people being engaged? What do they need? So what I love about it is there is a system, there is a method to the madness here, but it comes from the community that you're serving instead of like a handbook or a guide. So you're kind of building the plane as you fly, but it's getting you from A to B. So and you have so many people, like social media, 1,000 folks, right, that you've impacted, and over 100 people engaged weekly, right? Ish, I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yes. So that's been the great thing. I mean, we started a year ago. Well, was it a year? We started, was it 22, 23? We started really officially. We did a couple soft launches in 22, but 23, yeah, end of January 23, like 25th, we started. That's what, like when we really came out. And so we're about a year and a half, almost 2 years into this project. So it's, it's slow. I mean, I really thought like, oh, we're gonna have so many people coming, but it's church, and it's kind of that, and the hardest part is building the relationships, especially, I guess that's one of the cons again. It's like, they don't know me. It isn't like they can come and ask me out for a cup of coffee. I've had people call me. I've sat on phone conversations. I sat on Zoom calls with people that are just like asking questions like, why are you doing this? What's the catch? What am I missing? What are you going to make me do afterwards? And it's like, it's nothing. It's just, I want you here to build relationships with other people of faith and just to get closer to God. And that's what it's all about, and where we're coming from. So yes, there's lots of work to do. And you probably have other ideas about like, oh, I would do it this way or do it that way, which is awesome as well, because it's just, it's really where God's leading us. I mean, if we all did the same things, have the same connections, it would be kind of boring. So I know people are really good at dreaming, planning, visioning, that it'd be kind of great to see what other people have, what other ideas that people have. And it's mostly, again, it's listening to ways that people will connect with you. And you're right. It's just, we do have a structure, but yet we're open. It's not like, nope, this is the only thing we have to do. If somebody comes and says, like, hey, on Mondays, can we do this, or Tuesdays, can I do this? And it's like, sure, we'd love to have you in that. And because again, it's meant for laity. It's meant for laity to build. It's meant for laity to take over. I would love to have it all laity ran as far as volunteers and so forth. So right now I have an employee that's an admin and an employee that's a marketing person, and then there's myself. And then I have 3 volunteers that work the campus as well.
Right. Any other questions from anyone about this digital ministry? It's new. I imagine in a year from now, it'll look different from what it does currently, but that's kind of part of the fun of it, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's changed so many times. Like I said, you have to let God be God, because it was like, I had this whole vision board and everything I had on my vision board is like to the wayside, because all this thing started to happen, started to grow, and it was really a neat, it's neat watching it turn into what it was. And it was just, thinking it was going to be all just fresh expressions. Well, then it's like, wow, it's not all fresh expressions. We got to throw in some, discipleship building and some things like that. So that's been it's been interesting to see the directions it's been going.
What was the impetus that got you started on this? What kind of pushed you in this direction?
So I was having interactions with people. Just I was going grocery shopping. I was grocery shopping. I was at restaurants. I was just out and about. I was even getting my hair done, and I just had people come talk to me. They didn't know I was a pastor. It was just these conversations of, frustration with the church, being asked to leave the church. A young man coming out to his parents, kicked out of the house that night, knew he couldn't go to his church family, but looking for a place to feel safe, a place to connect with, that he had such a strong faith, and he's very, very active in the community. And it's just for people that were just searching for something besides coming to a church. They wanted a safe place to connect and just be themselves, but not having to necessarily come face to face. They have a lot of healing to do, and that's a big thing too. We have a lot of people that are healing on this campus. And that's where that trust comes from. That's where that relationship comes from. And it's like, they trust me so far. And that's where it's kind of like, okay. And it's just trying to figure out how far that trust goes. And the more I'm out there, the more I'm reaching out, the stronger the relationships have become.
So what I love about this is any church could do it, right? Kind of start.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, you know, utilizing the live stream. Who's on your live stream on Sundays? If you're live streaming, and then, you know, almost everyone is. But like, is there anybody that is not in your church watching live stream? Is there a way to connect with them and build this kind of digital community with them? Offering a Bible study, book study, or just even a devotion for them. It's all about building those relationships. It's all about connecting with those that aren't necessarily in the church. It's in, you know, informing, if you get something like that going, and even informing the church members, like, hey, we're starting this digital community, and like, do you have a neighbor you can invite, or a friend you can invite, or a family member you can invite who would love to be connected, who would love to, you know, connect with something but not have to commit to something.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure others that watch this video later might have questions. So can they email you? Should they join the Oasis campus? How do folks reach out to follow up? Like,
Join the campus. No, they can email me. Absolutely. Email me. And my email is pastorjackieumc@gmail.com.
awesome.
And also, if you want to check out on Facebook, check out the Oasis Virtual Community. So,
Yes. What I love is this year in the Desert Southwest, we have 2 new faith communities called Oasis. We have your digital campus, and then in the South, there's Oasis at Robeson Ranch near Eloy. So it's fun. It's great. We should offer people water in the desert. We could use all the help we can get right now. So
absolutely. Absolutely.
well, thank you, Jackie. Thank you for your time and for your ministry. Thank you to Jenny and Candace and Kelly for joining us, and everyone else who watches this later. You guys are the best. I'm just so grateful for you and for this fun week ahead, right? We're going to do all the things, solve all the problems, reach all the people. Okay,
That's
ready
right.
to go.
So welcome to the conference, Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been great so far. So it's like I
Good.
say, it's learning and adapting, and it's just figuring it all out, balancing. So thank you. I'm excited.
Well, if you ever figure it all out, let me know. I've been doing it more than 30 years and I haven't figured it all out. So
Well, good to know that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Candace is one of the most gifted church planters we have in our conference. Just side note, she's like an OG. She's been doing it forever. And
Oh, wow. Wow.
she's a treasure. So yeah, you're the best.
Right.
You are. Okay, it's a good day. Thank you. I'm gonna yeah, kind of send you out into the world to try new digital things in digital ways, and we'll circle back with updates. Okay, Jackie, let us know how it goes.
I love that. Yes. Thank you all. Thank you for your questions and everything else.
Thank
So,
you.
Rachel, thank you.
thanks,
Bye.
Jackie.
Later.